Have you ever heard a knock at your door? A soft, persistent tapping, and when you open the door, two children are standing there. They look normal, except for one detail: their eyes, completely black. These are the black-eyed children, and tonight you'll hear 10 terrifying encounters, each darker than the last. Stay until the end, because science might have an explanation. In Abilene, Texas, 1996, journalist Brian Bethel pulled into a parking lot. Two boys approached his car, asking for a ride home. Bethel felt his stomach turn cold. Their eyes were pure black. Fear overwhelmed him. He sped away. This was the first documented encounter with the black-eyed children. A woman was home alone when two children knocked on her door during a snowstorm. They begged to come inside. Something felt wrong, but she let them in. Her cats hissed and hid. The children sat silently, staring. When she saw their eyes, solid black, her nose began to bleed. Moments later, the children stood up and left without a word. A man in Kansas was closing his gas station late at night. Two teens appeared, asking for a ride. The lights above flickered. His chest tightened. Then he saw their eyes. He locked the door and refused. The boys stood motionless until suddenly they vanished. A security guard saw a young girl wandering near the elevators at 2 a.m. She asked him to take her to her parents' room. When she looked up, her eyes were black. The guard blinked. She was gone. Later, hotel cameras showed the girl, but in the footage, she had no eyes at all. A 16-year-old boy heard knocking on his bedroom window. Two kids stood outside, asking to be let in. They repeated, "We can't come in unless you invite us." Terrified, he closed the blinds. The knocking grew louder and louder until it stopped. The next morning, fingerprints were burned into the glass. A mother woke up at 3 a.m. to the sound of her baby crying. When she opened the door, two black-eyed children were standing in the hallway. She screamed. The children disappeared instantly. Her baby was sound asleep. A truck driver in Nevada picked up a young girl walking along the highway. She said nothing. When he glanced at her face, her eyes were pure black. He slammed the brakes, but the passenger seat was empty. A married couple heard a knock at their countryside cottage. Two children in old-fashioned clothes asked to use the phone. Once inside, the wife collapsed, bleeding from her nose. The husband saw their eyes, black pools of emptiness. The children stood silently, then vanished in front of him. A police officer stopped to help what looked like a lost boy. The boy asked, "Can you take me home?" When the officer bent down to reassure him, he froze. The child's eyes were all black. The boy smiled and walked into the woods. The officer followed, but the child had disappeared. Multiple reports connect the black-eyed children with another figure, the Hat Man, a shadowy man wearing a wide-brimmed hat. Witnesses say the children often appear first, and the Hat Man follows. One family in Arizona saw 2 black-eyed kids at their doorstep. Later that night, the father awoke to see the Hat Man standing in the corner of his bedroom. But what exactly are the black-eyed children? Are they real or simply tricks of the mind? Stay with me, and it's time for explanation. Scientists and psychologists suggest several possible explanations. First, medical conditions. Rare disorders like aniridia or pupil dilation can make the eyes appear completely black. In the dark, it's horrifying. Second, sleep paralysis. Encounters often happen late at night, when the brain is trapped between waking and dreaming. Hallucinations can appear so real that the victim is convinced they are awake. Third, mass hysteria and urban legends. Since 1996, stories of black-eyed children have spread online. Fear spreads like a virus. When enough people believe, shadows can become monsters. But then, what about the sightings reported by multiple witnesses at once? What about fingerprints, bruises, and recordings? Not all can be explained away. So, are they myths or something darker moving through the night? If you ever hear that knock and you see those eyes, remember this. Science can give you answers, but fear always asks for more. This is Beyond Fear.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to this channel. The name of the channel is Beyond Fear. And now, I want to tell you a story in this one.